Hey guys, so for this week's video, I originally was gonna start a mini series on my channel where I talked about some Korean movies that I've seen on Netflix, and I actually went to go film the first episode of that the other day. I ended up with like 40 minutes of footage, and as I was trying to rough cut it, I came to the conclusion that I am too boring to really do a movie review kind of a video, and literally all I was doing was trying to describe to you guys what was going on in the movie, and that's not really a interesting video to watch. Like, you might as well watch the movie and you would get way more out of it than me doing a terrible job of describing it to you and not really giving much other information outside of trying to describe what was going on. So I ended up scrapping the whole video and the whole series idea, and all I got out of it was a massive headache and basically a wasted day. Anyway, I figured instead of scrapping the whole thing and not ever talking about Korean movies again, I figured I would give you guys a recommendation video, like how I've done my K-drama recommendation videos, which I actually do have one video coming in like 2 or 3 weeks. So buckle up. Hopefully this video is going to be more exciting than the one that I attempted to film. The first movie, which I try to make a video on, is Forgotten. This movie is a thriller movie and it's a little violent, so if you're not that good with gore, I would recommend you not watch this. But basically it's about this guy who moves houses with his family, and he gets these really vivid, sort of violent nightmares, and then his brother goes missing for about 3 weeks, and he tries to figure out what the heck happened to his brother, because when his brother comes home, he just has no memory of what happened, and it leads to a really wild series of events. You just have to watch it for yourself because I am not interesting enough to make a video on it. The second movie on my list is also a thriller. This one happens to be a little more gory than the last one. So if you don't do good with gore, please don't watch this one because it's more gory than the first one, and it's The Witch Part 1 Subversion. I really enjoyed this movie. I'm not someone who is really scared of gore, and I really like thrillers, so it's something that was really up my alley, and I am pretty excited to watch the second part when it does come out. I do need to look that up and see when it does come out though. But this movie is about this girl who runs away from this horrible place that she was born into, and she eventually gets adopted by this ex-architect turned farmer and his wife, and they raise her on their farm. She auditions for this talent show, essentially this televised talent show, when she's pretty grown up, like at the end of high school, and the people who ran the horrible place that she was born into find her again, and they basically try to bring her back to where she was born into. And there's some supernatural elements to this movie, so if you're okay with gore and you like thrillers, please watch this one. I have watched this movie like 3 or 4 times because I just really love it. The next movie is also a thriller. I really like thrillers, if you can tell from these 3 recommendations. This one's not so gory, so for those of you who can't handle gore, this one might be watchable for you. And the movie is The Call. So this movie is about this girl who moves back into their family's old house. It's a house that is on a farm, and she's just taking over the house and basically just restoring it. And there's this old telephone in the house, and she starts getting calls on it, and it's from this girl who come to find out is, I think, 17 years in the past. They start like calling each other and helping each other out. For example, the protagonist, her father had passed away a long time ago, and because the girl on the other side of the phone call is in the past, she helps her out by letting her see her dad again. You just have to watch the movie to figure out how, but it's a really good movie. It's definitely a thriller. Like, there's a lot of twists and turns in this movie, and I would suggest this movie for those who are into thrillers but can't handle gore. The last movie that I have on my recommendation list is not a thriller for once, and it's actually an action movie, and I think it would be a good movie to watch with the family. It's definitely a movie that you can watch with the kids if you do have kids or younger family members. The movie is Space Sweepers. I can never say it fast because it starts with S's, but the movie's Space Sweepers. The movie is mainly in Korean, but they do have other actors who are speaking in different languages. This movie sets place in kind of a dystopian world. It still involves Earth, but it's like way in the future, and the Earth is like trashed by humans. And the band of protagonists have to basically collect space junk and sell it for money because they all are in some sort of debt or just need the money. What really drives this movie forward is the fact that there's a 7-year-old little fugitive-esque situation. She gets herself on their spaceship, which the band uses to collect space junk to sell for money, and they try to use her as ransom to get money to pay off their debt, and eventually like grows really attached to her, and it's a really fun story to watch, and I would definitely recommend to those who like action movies and also want a movie that can be enjoyed by the whole family. And that concludes this video. Hopefully you found a good movie to watch, and I will see you guys in next week's video.